Portland Thorns FC versus Washington Spirit on CBS. And guess what? If you love Darian Jenkins on her analysis, don't you worry. She's going to give you more, because live in-studio action is going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Darian's going to be joined alongside Lisa Carlin to chat all about the pregame stuff for this game, and we're going to preview it a little bit. The Thorns, who are in 7th, are coming off of their first loss in 5 matches. We were talking a little bit about streaks there earlier, and now they're going to have a little bit of a potential, bounce-back game of their own, and then they're going up against the Spirit, who are currently in 3rd. They've got 3 wins and 1 draw in their last 4 matches, so they are also doing some fun things. When it comes to the Thorns in this one, as they are the team maybe looking for the bounce back, Jen, how has a team like this, in your opinion, been able to stay in the top half of the table despite some of the challenges that they had to start this season?
Yeah, I think it goes to show you that, the big names might have been there last year, but it goes to show you the squad depth that they've got, that everyone's stepped up. And look, we talked about chemistry a lot for other teams, but Portland are a team for me that show chemistry. They show that they're on the right page with each other. I think Coffey in the midfield really drives the team. She's energy. She's learned so much from playing with unbelievable leaders going in previous seasons, and she's come out and said that in interviews multiple times. But no, I think the coaching's definitely there. Tactically, they seem sound. So for me, when everyone's learning and on the same page going into games, that shows. You don't necessarily need the big names to, win football matches. You just need players on the same page, working together and doing their absolute best. So, and look, I think they were quite unlucky against BFC, I will say. I thought they dominated a lot of possession, had some of the better chances. And I think it's those games that they'll look back on in the season and think, right, we should have got more out of that. But look, coming up against the Spirit is a really tough game. I think Spirit had their wobble, right? But they've found form. We spoke about injuries, but players coming back. Hirschfeld back in the side. Top player, absolutely loved watching her last season. If Portland let their midfield dominate the game, they will. And Portland have a good midfield. Sam Coffey drives it in the midfield. But if they allow Batoon, Hirschfeld to drive it from a Spirit perspective, it's going to be a really tough game for them. But no, I think Portland should still take confidence from their BFC game, even if they did lose. I think they were the better team, if I can say that. They just came away with nothing. So it's going into the likes of Spirit that they just have to, again, show up the way that they did and hope for a better result and put away chances. You can't create that many chances and not score in this league. You just can't. You have to take advantage of it.
Darian, Jen touched on this a little bit about the Spirit and their lengthy injury list. At this point, it's like they can almost start another starting 11 with the players that they have on the availability report. They are going through it, but they are getting players back into form and getting them in those lineup. Croy Bethune, Hal Hirschfeld among that. Is it going to come down to that middle third? And is maybe that an advantage for the Spirit in this game, considering, in my humble opinion, that they've got options in that middle third, including Rebecca Bernal? Where's she going to start in this game?
Ooh, we love Rebecca Bernal. She's been the X factor for me for Spirit this year as to why they've had so many injuries and have been able to overcome it, because she can plug and play and still be a leader no matter where she is on the pitch. So shout out to her. Yes, in the midfield, because I think it's going to be a matter of who denies service to who. Portland are fast. Alidou, Hanks, Linehan has her speed, but I think that those are players that I'm looking at, really Raylan Turner, who can turn around a Washington Spirit. And they looked vulnerable last week against North Carolina when North Carolina transitioned. They sent crosses in early. There are opportunities, but on the same end, when Spirit start to go, you've got Britt Ratcliffe, who is just balling out right now in this season, so fast up top for Spirit. We know it when it's not working. We know where wingers are going to be. Let's play it long and go at them. So I think both of these teams are going to have to deny service on either side. You're going to have to be so good at shutting down Olivia Moultrie, Sugita, Coffee, whoever's in the midfield from playing those balls forward, and same vice versa on the Spirit side, whether it's Hirschfeld, who her long balls have gotten I think have improved a ton since last year, Bethune, who can thread a pass through literally anywhere. I think that's where the game is going to come down, but really finishing chances, like Jen said. I mean, last week, Portland had 16 shots and 5 on target and weren't able to score. You got to be clinical against a team like Spirit. I actually think this might be more of a high-scoring game from the ones that we've talked about.
I think that's what was so
actually
tough.
I like, because Jen said, what, 3-0?
Yo, 3-0 San Diego.
Yeah, let me take that back.
That's what was so tough for me, I think, coming out of that week 11, when I was looking at the different games and different results. I was like, God, when it comes to the sort of quote unquote bounce back games for certain teams in week 12, I gotta feel like the Thorns are maybe the ones that feel like that is the one of the games that got away from them against Bay FC, because they did.
Yeah.
They had the better stretches of play. They had the better amounts of opportunities, attempts on target in dangerous spaces. They looked like it was a classic, like the soccer gods are cruel type of game, where it's just like, it doesn't matter how good you're playing, you got to finish those chances or you're going to get cooked. And they didn't walk away with those 3 points. So I have to imagine that they are beyond motivated to try to make sure that they do walk away with something against a very good Spirit side. So I am looking for them to try to capitalize on those opportunities there. I am of the agreement that it is going to come down to the middle third, as you've already stated, Darian. But as far as like beyond the X's and O's for the players who have to have those breakout games, give me one player on each team that you think needs to be that dog to make sure that they get the win.
That dog.
Jen, you go first.
Ooh, okay. I love Hirschfeld. I think she's the player for Spirit, the huge player. To see her injured at the start of the season, I think she could have gone on to be MVP for Spirit, but she has to, exactly what she's been saying in the media as well. She wants to step up and become that player, and I think she's got it in her. I really do. So for me, Spirit Hirschfeld. She's the top one for me.
How about you, D?
I'm going to go Kaya Hanks. I think her 1v1 ability has been so good. She can get in behind. She can shoot from distance. She's going to want a couple of those chances back from last week. I'm putting my money on her. I actually think Portland can take this game. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Thorns. I'm with the unpopular picks this week.
No. Jen just with the casual. No.
Yeah.
You got Jen.
I'll go 2-0 Spirit for sure.
Oh,
riding high on the Spirit.
It's a shutout.
High. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Man, I can't lie. I am feeling the Spirit in this one, but I don't think it'll be easy. I'm just very high on their acquisitions. I mean, outside of Bernal, I love what Gift Monday is doing for this team. Just relentless, casual, somehow going unmarked at this point. Just good movement. You know, that a player, everyone wants to highlight the fact that a player is wide open or gets unmarked. Well, why? Why are they getting there? It's because of their movement and their positioning and their awareness. And so I'm very high on Gift Monday for the Spirit. And I think they're high on themselves too. They're riding some confidence right now. So I'm going to go 2-1, but I'm going to go the way of the Spirit in this one. And everyone else can let us know how they're feeling, because we had a poll and sounds like they're also feeling the Spirit. 60% going with the Spirit to take this one, 20% for a draw, and 20% for the Thorns. So a little bit split, but in different ways. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we just make sure that it's a good match, because again, it is on CBS. You could tap in to Network TV and watch this show, Portland Thorns versus Washington Spirit. It's going to kick off at 4 p.m. Eastern. Darian Jenkins, Lisa Carlin are going to be live in studio starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. They're going to have all the goods for you.